Bose is the presenting partner of Beyond the Grid. That's because Bose Quiet Comfort 35.2 goes beyond what you would expect from a pair of headphones. Just flip the switch to experience the industry-leading active noise reduction feature, and all distractions of the world around you fade away, allowing you to focus on what matters to you.
Hello, I'm Romain Grosjean, and you're listening to Beyond the Grid.
Hi everyone, Tom Clarkson here with another episode of Beyond the Grid, and I can promise you that this week's edition is a real eye-opener. You know, there's no doubt that Formula One drivers lead a largely glamorous life, but to say it's all a bed of roses would be far from the truth, and this week's guest knows that better than most. He gained, lost, and then regained his F1 career and felt the wrath of his fellow drivers. But he's also never given less than his maximum, scoring 10 fine podiums and hundreds of points over more than 130 Grands Prix. I'm talking, of course, about one of the elder statesmen of the current grid, Haas's Romain Grosjean. The son of a Geneva-based lawyer, Romain is a real thinker, and I know you'll be surprised by how candidly he talks about his life and the hurdles he's faced during his career. I really enjoyed our conversation, and I hope you do too. Welcome to Beyond the Grid, Romain. It's great to see you. Now, there's one thing that's been puzzling me since the first time I met you in 2009, and that is this whole nationality thing. Because, what is it, Swiss father, French mother, you're carrying the French flag. How did mum win that battle?
Well, it's actually a bit more complicated. My mum was French, and then she got married with my dad, which was Swiss. And at the time, you could have only one nationality, so she became Swiss. So I was born in Switzerland, Swiss parents, I was Swiss. And 8 years into my life, there were a change of regulation where my mum could actually get a nationality, French nationality back, as well as having the Swiss one. So my sister and myself, we both got French nationality as well as Swiss. So at that point, I had two passports. And then I started racing, and I was karting. I started racing in France. We're living in Geneva, but it was very near the border, and the French championship was more known in karting and at high level. So we went
Were you
there.
racing all over France at that time?
Yeah, all over France at that time. But just to make something different, we kept the Swiss flag on the kart. And that
Were you the
lasted-
only Swiss guy in that championship, kind of?
Not the only one, but one of the rare ones,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And then until actually I joined Renault Driver Development in end of 2005, I raced with one in single-seater, with one Swiss flag and one French flag on each side of the car. And when I was French champion of Formula Renault 2 liters, and I met the manager of the Renault Driver Development, and they expressed their wish to have a French driver, not a Swiss driver. So from that point, they told me, well, we'd like you to be French and not Swiss anymore. And I said, that's fine, I've got a French passport. If you ask me nowadays, right now, how I feel, I do feel a bit more like a Swiss man. I'm always on time, and time is very important, and chocolate is my religion. But as an athlete, I feel more French because I like to hear the Marseillaise. I like to wear the French flag. Saying that was a tennis match, and there's Roger playing one of the French teams. But I'm in between two chairs. It's very difficult to pick up my side, you know.
And if I said to your sister, what nationality are you? She would say?
I don't know.
That's amazing. So,
Because
so
I don't have the Swiss accent, so
Right.
she'd probably say I'm French.
But that's fascinating. So you changed to the French nationality for commercial reasons to help your racing career.
Yes, right.
Wow.
And that was the right choice, you know, after I had a big support from Total over my career, which to who I owe a lot, and it's been up to date, one of the partner I would always remember. And I hope to wear the color again one day, because I was in the family and it meant a lot to me. So yeah, and you know, in racing, French has got Switzerland's got some great drivers as well, but I just felt a bit more French for racing.
So coming from Geneva, and there's a history of sport in your family, isn't there? Your grandfather was an Olympic skier.
Yeah, right. He was Olympic skier. He finished vice world champion in 1952. skiing. So his father was doing bobsleigh.
Oh wow.
He's Swiss champion 13 or 14
Were you not
times.
tempted to follow the?
So yeah, I started
Follow
skiing.
them?
I started skiing, and at one point maybe I wasn't good enough, or maybe my dad made the story up. But we heard a bit about the doping into skiing, and my dad just didn't want me to race anymore.
So the first race you ever did wasn't in a go-kart?
No, it was skiing, and then
on planks.
the second one was BMX.
Okay, so what Dad then says, we don't think skiing is the way to go because of doping, and so then karting didn't come after that.
No, it was BMX. I was riding bike all the time since I'm a kid. I'm always on a bike, always. And there was a BMX track in Geneva, and I was going every Wednesday, every Saturday, and then I started doing competition.
Were you good?
I don't know. I was crazy, so.
But did you win stuff? Or?
I can't remember, to be fair. We're talking about, I was 8 years old, something like that. Yeah. I was enjoying it, and then my dad was always involved into racing because he always wanted to be a driver himself. He was always in love with Ferraris. Didn't have the chance to go racing when he was younger. Our parents didn't have the money. But he was a lawyer of a Swiss team that was running Lancias in rallies and European rallies, and I was in love with riding. Initially it was riding, and it was all about the Lancia. My dad had all the Deltas from the mid-80s to 94, the last one, and that's my dream car, the Lancia Delta from 1994.
Have you got one?
No, I don't, but I will one day.
Yeah.
And then I went to some of the rallies, and one day brought me to Dijon, a track not far from Geneva. We used to have the Swiss Grand Prix in Dijon.
Yeah, I know Dijon, yeah.
And I saw that BMW M1 with the stripe, the three colors, BMW colors, going on the straight line. I thought, that's what I want to do. Pointed that car. And I went karting. And I've found the video of my first ever time on a go-kart. It was south of France on holidays. And the racing line was not crazy. It's as fun as it sounds. I spun a few times, but the racing lines were not crazy, and was doing the right. Maybe it comes from skiing because there's some things, it's the speed, it's the line, it's the sliding. But I was there, and then my dad offered me a go-kart for Christmas, and I think most of the kids start like that. I think Jensen Button started like that way, and just went into karting. And after a few years, I asked, "Can I go racing?" And
just won
look
everything.
at me. Yeah, that's what they said. First, you've got to work to school because I want you to get your final exam before uni. So if in case things goes wrong, you've got that. And then when karting, I started quite late, 14 years old, racing. So I only did 2.5 years of racing go-kart, and then went to single-seater, and then won every category to Formula One.
I think you're right. I'm sure the racing line from skiing and the balance and the core strength you need from skiing helps you now, I'm sure.
Yeah, but there is a lot of similitude.
So the rise was then meteoric, winning everything. And then I'll never forget Valencia 2009, European Grand Prix. In he comes, Romain Grosjean. What were you, 23, 24 at the time?
23 at the time.
Yeah, 23.
But looked like 17.
Yes, you don't look much older now, damn it. And then alongside, Fernando Alonso, when he was absolutely at the height of his powers. And I remember looking at the qualifying times, and you were 0.3 slower than the double world champion. It was a dream start.
It was a dream start. It was great, and I had the call. You're in the car from Valencia. Actually, I had to call a race. It was Nürburgring, Budapest, Valencia. So in Nürburgring, after the race, got a call saying you're in the car that was from Pat Simons at the time. You're in the car in Budapest. Great. Next day, phones ring again. No, you're not in the car in Budapest. Oh, damn it. We give a last chance to Nils Nelson. And then after the race, so summer break, got the phone call. That one, you in the car, 7 Grands Prix to get used to Formula One before the next season starts. So it's just a learning 7 Grands Prix that you're going to get. Turns out it wasn't quite the case. I think it was just the wrong time, wrong place, wrong time. I was next to Fernando, which was amazing, and I learned a lot from him. Obviously, he was very fast. But yeah, with all the Crashgate story, I was part of the furniture that needed a change. I was part of the Flavio Beretta management. And even though I owe a lot to Flavio putting me in Formula One at first place, then I think it cost me my first career in Formula One.
In hindsight, were you ready?
No.
Why weren't you ready? Where were you lacking?
A lot of things. I think, Formula One is not about driving or only about driving the car. Driving fast is one thing, but then it's being on the outside, being aware of what's going on, being aware of the games and the media. And I'm a very shy person. You know, I can go on stage in front of fans, a lot of fans wearing my Haas kit or my Lotus kit, and I'm feeling confident, feeling fine. If you see me somewhere else when I'm just wearing normal clothes, you know, I'm very shy. I never cross the line. I stay in the queue, and I don't like attention. So I came to F1 and I was shy. So people thought I was arrogant, but I was just not saying hello or you know, looking at people just not to disturb anything. Which no one told me at the time. You know, be careful. That's the reputation you're having. Be aware of that. Be aware of the sponsor. Be aware of what we're saying, how you're acting, and you are an employee of a big brand, which is Renault, and yeah. So you know, no one ever told me what to do, what not to do, and what was doing right, what was doing wrong, and that's why I wasn't ready. You know, I think driving wise, you're never ready to jump in a Formula 1 car. It's a big step from everything you've done before. You get used to it quite quickly because you're talented, because that's what you do, because that's what you feel like. But if no one tells you how to behave, what to look for, what to look after, or what to make in the paddock, or you know, into interviews and so on. And I'm not saying I'm doing it right all the time. You know, I had those radio messages last year, a couple of years ago, and I just thought, okay, that's it. I don't want any of that anymore. I need to learn from that. Because people came and said, look, it's not good for your reputation. That's not who you are. And I thought, right, that's taking out of context. It hurts me, but
you have to play a good hand, don't you?
Yes, you do.
It's not just what you're doing in the car.
And you know, sometimes we're saying, it's missing character in Formula One, missing personalities. Sometimes you can't express as much as you would like because it makes waves, and waves are not good.
But Romain, what you did show, and I'd love you to expand on this, is so end of 2.9, Flavio's out of the picture anyway, isn't he? Because he gets moved aside at Renault, and you lose your drive. That must have been a dark period for you.
It was tough. It was very late as well. So I had Eric Boulier was then in charge of Renault or Lotus, I can't remember the name of the team at the time. And I was in contact with Eric, and they were telling me, well, if we don't find anyone, you're the obvious choice because you've got experience in the team and so on. And then on the 31st of January 2010, I got a phone call from Eric saying, we've signed Petrov, so you're out. And I was living in Geneva at the time, and my girlfriend was living in Paris. And I remember taking a backpack with my stuff, jump on a train to Paris, and I never came back to Geneva until 2015. So I never turned back. I left, and I went to Paris. And then I thought, that's it. I'm not racing anymore. I'm going to become a cook. So I love cooking. That's one of my passion, you know, for cookbook and so on. So I went to do some open door from cooking school. And I was explained I was too old. I needed preparation here for 2 years. And then I was like, yeah, but I don't need a preparation here. It was learning English. I was like, I'm quite fluent in English. It's learning about luxury. I was like, I've been a Formula 1 driver, so I've been in 5-star hotel quite a bit. But they said no. So yeah, I was a bit disappointed with that. And then I had a phone call from that Swiss team, Matek, doing the Ford, in the GT1 World Championship with the Ford. And they called me and we met, and I say, yeah, I want to go back to racing. I miss it too much. You know, GTs. I look at Tom Christensen. He never made it to Formula 1. He's had amazing careers in endurance. So I thought, you know, I'm going to try something different. So I did GT1. And then I came to Hockenheim for the GP2 with Dams. They were lost with the GP2 team. They didn't know if the car was fast or the drivers were slow or whatever. So they put Jérôme Domozio on the side and they give me the seat for the weekend. And the weekend went very well. And then on Sunday, I had a very good conversation with Jean-Paul Driot. He's the owner of the team. And he took me in his office and he said, look, if you don't have anything for 2011, you've got to sit here. I pay for everything. You've got to sit here. And he kept his word. He put me in the car in 2011, paid for everything. And the only demand was that we were bringing back Dams to the top and trying to win. And we won the Asia Championship and we won the series. And I'm very proud of that time because the team was struggling. And then because of the experience I had, the confidence, I just managed to bring everyone back to the top. But I'm even more proud that they kept winning after that. You know, for a few more years with Davide Valsecchi, Palmer, they kept winning the title.
You think you laid the foundations?
Yes, and seeing even nowadays, seeing the team Dams performing means a lot to me.
What an emotional 12 months. So your initial reaction when you get the call from Eric Boulier is, I don't want anything to do with this game anymore. I'm going to become a chef.
Yep.
Were you with Marion at this time?
Yes, I was with Marion. Yeah.
So you went to live with her in Paris?
Yeah.
I bet you there's a great story about how you two got together, because of course some listeners may not know that she used to work in Formula One for, is it TF1, the French TV channel?
But we actually get together before she worked in F1.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
I was imagining some interview that went really quite well.
It's mine was a long story. The first time I saw her was 2005 when I was French champion. I joined Renault, and she was the TV presenter at the time she's still for Automoto, the TV show. And I saw her on TV, but then I saw her in the room, and I was looking at her. And then the next year, 2006, I was part of the French Federation drivers, so I sat on the table at the same dinner for the prize giving. I didn't have a prize at the time, but I was just sitting at the table. And then I saw her again later that year. We did a go-kart race, one journalist, one driver together, and going go-kart race, and she was there. And then I didn't see her for 2 years. And then she was sent to do an interview of myself.
Was she friendly? It seems it's quite a long courting.
Yeah, so she was friendly, but nothing like a relationship whatsoever. And then 2008, after Monaco, I was a bit hangover, and she didn't want to come to do that interview. So I was supporting the Renault Twingo RS. So everyone buying a Renault Twingo RS for €1 more at the driving lesson. I was the ambassador of that program. So I was there. And I remember the day went well, and we had fun, and decided to fly back to Paris in the evening. And then it took me another 6 months to convince her that was the right choice. But no, it's been, it would be almost 10 years at the end of the year that we're together, 3 kids and happily married.
Yeah. So what an amazing period of your life. You've experienced pretty much every emotion going, haven't you, really, at that period? But then, as you say, you and Drio go and get the business done in 2011. And then it's back to Enstone, isn't it? Just talk us through how that
Yeah, so back to the team that fired me. So, it wasn't easy.
Bit awkward.
Yeah, well, for Formula One team to tell the bosses that the driver is not good enough and it needs to be fired, which I believe was the case in 2009. The car was good, but the driver weren't good. One driver wasn't good, even though I wasn't far off Fernando. To tell, well, that's the driver we want, and the team has to accept was a big thing. So I came back to Enstone, and I think it was a different atmosphere, and actually I was nicely welcomed, and then we go. First race of the season, qualifying in Australia, and I'm third on the grid. So
and then you go to Bahrain and get your first podium.
Get my first podium, and then almost won the Valencia Grand Prix, where I started 3 years before without a broken alternator. I think that was first win in Formula One, finished second in Canada. So the first part of the season was quite good.
You like having tough teammates, don't you? Because so your first experience in Formula One, Fernando Alonso. Second experience of Formula One, Kimi Raikkonen. I mean, compare and contrast for us. Who was the tougher?
I think they're both great champions. Very different characters, but if there's one thing they do the same is the way they go into the weekend and the way they work. From free practice, from the first lap of free practice one, all is about Sunday afternoon. And when I was a rookie in Formula One, it was always about qualifying. It was raw pace. But then I would suffer in the race with tire degradation or whatsoever. Those guys, they knew when it counted. So it was all about getting the race ready, making sure you've got all the tools, making sure the car is ready, making sure you've got the best strategy in mind, and so on. So I've learned from both of them. I really learned that, and that's why I've applied to myself since then.
Did they help you?
No.
In a word, no.
I mean, it's.
Do you feel they held information back?
No, they did not. So everything was open, and I could ask all the questions I wanted. But it's tricky in Formula One, racing weekend goes so fast, and your teammate is your first rival, You don't want to be beaten by your teammate, so you won't help him in a way, but they weren't hiding anything. So I could see the data, I could see everything they were doing. That's why I'm saying that I learned the way they were just getting their race sets from the first lap of FP1.
So tell me how this first lap stuff came about in 2012, because it seemed you had, for the first time in your Formula One career, you were building some momentum, you were getting decent results, you were getting the respect of the paddock, and then you did have these first lap crashes that of course people talk about Spa and then missing Monza and stuff. Why do you think in hindsight that happened? Was it a case of just wanting it too much and trying to gain too much, or were you too nervous? Just talk us through it.
No, I think I just wanted too much, and because I was so close to winning a race in Valencia, I actually thought I was coming from GP2, winning the championship, but almost won a race in Formula One, finished second in Canada. So I was pushing from the first corner just to have the best position and go for the win. And I wanted it so badly that I lost the big picture. And I was just focusing on getting that into turn one, making sure I get the positions and so on. Spa is Spa. I still believe I'm not 100% responsible for that incident, and Lewis had maybe 50 centimeters to the right whatsoever. I accepted the penalty, and I think it helped me in my career after that. There was Spa, and there was Spa, and there were Suzuka, which to me is my biggest mistake, with Mark Webber, where he came
Suzuka could be almost a bigger mistake than Spa.
It's a bigger one. Because Spa, as I say, it's a contact with Lewis that triggers everything. It's not that I would break myself, crashed in a car in front of me that flew over. We crashed with Lewis, I lost the rear wheel, I lost control of the car, that's it. The car on three wheel, the brake fluid goes out, you've lost the brake, that's it. So if it had happened, the two of us, not in turn one, nothing would have happened, but it happened that it was turn one, and so Suzuka, it was just purely my fault, 100%. I was so focused on not getting the Sauber to overtake me that I crashed into Mark, not even realizing he was there. And I was like, what is wrong with me? And Mark came and was about to punch me.
He was pretty angry.
He was very angry. Yeah. He broke the old hospitality.
What did he say to you?
Oh, well, he said, mate, we work hard from Friday morning to make sure we got a good cargo in the race, and you ruined it in turn one. And, the conversation, I couldn't agree more with Mark. I said, yes, Mark, you're right. If you want to punch me. You're right. I've got nothing to say in my defense. So to me, that was my biggest mistake in Formula One, really. But after that, it really understood things.
Was that the catalyst for you understanding things? That Suzuka
Well,
shot?
it was really, yes, because when you're in there, you're like, I don't understand what I did wrong, why did I hit him, why did I took the wrong decision. We're talking about 0.2 of a second to take a decision, and from the outside, you go in the FIA room and stewards, and they look every image frame by frame. Oh, you see these and these. No, you don't see that. It happens at 300 kph within 1 second. So things goes fast, and you need to pick the right decision. Why you're picking the right one or the wrong one at 0.2 of a second, it's just your mindset. But sometimes it's hard to understand, because you're like, I don't understand. It's just bad luck. He was there, I was there. Things happen. I think 2012, the first lap not case. I don't recall all the year. There was Spa, there was Suzuka to me. There were big incidents. The rest, I was sometimes unlucky as well. I was wrong place, wrong time, and that happens in Formula One. I don't think there were. If you take Monaco, I was forced on the grid at poor start. Michael can try to come from the left. Fernando cuts from the right. I can't disappear. Do
you feel that maybe the other drivers were overly hard with you, overly aggressive with you?
Well, when you're in that spot where all the spotlight on you and you can't make any move without risking a penalty, then of course they're taking the advantage, which is normal, and you would always do that. If you're playing tennis and your opponent is struggling from the heat, or he's lost his backhand, you're just going to hammer it.
Going to make him run.
Or cycling up the hill and you see the guy struggling, you just go for it. We're competitors. We want to win. Yeah. But yeah, that was... that's to me that year. What
was tougher for you? The coming back from being sacked by Renault in 2009, or just dealing with all the mess surrounding 2012?
Dealing with the mess, because dealing with media criticizing you, fans, happens all the time, especially with the Twitter and so on. You see the amount of abuse you get on Twitter, and then when you meet people, they never say anything. They're always nice to you. But having the drivers and Mark and calling me the first lap nutcase and having the driver to criticize you when you're doing the same job, that was painful.
What did they say in the driver's briefing at the next race after the Japanese Grand Prix? Were you
Nothing.
singled out? Or?
No, nothing.
No one said anything?
No,
Oh, that's almost worse, isn't it?
I don't know, I was quite happy actually. No waves will come, just that's
that really awkward silence. Where do I sit? Oh. Okay, well look, I mean, just to finish on this, only that it as you said, it maybe helped you long term. Did anyone take you aside? Did anyone help you? Did anyone at the team or take you aside and say, look, we need to work on this and let's do it together? Or did you seek help from anywhere? Or?
So I think when you're into those difficult moments, the decision has to come from you. And I decided to go and see a sports psychologist at the time that I still work with. So it's been 6 years and we're still together and still working, together and working through my marriage, my first kid, my second kid, my third kid, talking through the first part of 2018, which was really difficult. Talking about, the success as well. When I led the Grand Prix in Japan in 2013, I was like, oh my God, I'm leading the Grand Prix. I can't do any mistake. I can't go in the gravel. I've got fastest car behind. What do I do now? What do I do? And it was a brand new, situation. You can think, oh yeah, you're leading the Grand Prix is normal. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not normal to lead a Grand Prix for your first time, like this. So then that's things you work on and make sure that you act appropriately, you take the right decision.
So how did you find this person?
I met her once in a corridor in Paris, INSEP, which is Institut National of Sport and Preparation, National Institute. And I met her in the corridor, and the guy that I was with said, that's Maryam. She's been working with Teddy Riner, the judoka, for 10 years already. I said, hi. And we chatted like maybe 2.5 minutes maximum. And then she had to go, and I went. And whenever I had that Spa thing, I said, that's the person I want to see. Just that 2.5 minutes were enough to make me think that was the person I needed.
And she helped, obviously helped.
And she helped, yeah. And still helping.
So is she on the end of the phone, or just you go and see her?
Well, when I was in Paris, it was easy. I was going and seeing her. And now it's a bit more complicated. So Skype, we use Skype quite a lot. And and if not, I'll go to Paris and I meet her. And it's always better face to face. But Skype, when you get to know the person quite well, Skype is good. She needs to see your face or your reaction when she tries to push things. Into your mind. And I remember one of the conversations was Korea. Was it Korea? Yeah, Korea 2013. I think it was Korea. And on the phone, she told me, okay, you're ready to be aggressive in lap 1. I was like, are you crazy? Do you want to cost my career? And she was like, so I completely rejected her. She was like, I think you're ready to go aggressive in lap 1. I was like, no. And then we talked about it, and I was aggressive in lap 1, and I got Lewis on the one. I was.
What made her say you're now ready?
That I can't tell. That I don't know. It's just a conversation, the way you talk about things, your face expression, and the way you act when she asks questions and so on. And she can tell from the hello, how are you? She can tell if you're in a good mood, bad mood, if you're good place, right place, wrong place. It's unbelievable. I love it. But I cannot do it. But she knows from the beginning if there's something bothering you or not, even that you want to hide it.
Yeah. How interesting. Sounds like she knows you almost as well as your wife.
Yeah, I mean, that's her job, and then during the conversation is trying to understand. And this year it was like I phoned her after Silverstone when we crashed with Kevin in turn 1. I was like, what the hell? I didn't brake late. I didn't want to be aggressive, and we touched and we lost points for the team, and I was like, I don't know, maybe it was slippery, was on track, and I didn't know. And then we started working through it and understood what can we do better, can we take better decision. Maybe it's braking 2 meters earlier, the better decision. But at the time, I didn't think I'd made the wrong call, and obviously, same as Spa 2012, I don't think I made the wrong call initially, and then obviously it was the wrong call. But at first, it didn't look like it was the wrong one. So it's really, trying to find...
Does she understand motor racing?
No, she does, yes. At first she didn't, okay. And then she came to a race once, and it was great to have her, to see what's the environment like and how we work and so on. And I've explained to her.
I'm interested too that she helps you with stuff away from racing? You talked about the kids. And
I mean, having kids it's not easy, in a
I've
sport.
got 3 just like you. Yeah, we look as tired as
Fun.
each other. Yeah.
Only they're back to school, so now it's
when's the next Grand Prix?
Yeah. So having kids as well, it's a challenge, and make sure that it's a change in a man's life. Having kids change your life. You're not doing things for you anymore. You're doing things for your kids, and I want to make sure that they're proud of daddy, that they can watch TV and they're happy. And there's nothing better than when I come back home and my sons are jumping in my arms and say, "Daddy, you're the best in the world." And even though I haven't won the race, it doesn't matter. That's more than what I needed.
Irreplaceable, isn't it?
But on the other hand, they wake you up in the middle of the night, or they give you troubles and education and stuff like that. So it's all, life is full of challenge, in
Do you feel that you've become a more rounded human being since the birth of your children?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Lewis told me that he said, "Our kids, they're a parachute. They're a parachute. They slow you down. 0.1, I think it was 0.1 per kid. Are you 3/10 slower than you were 5 years ago?"
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I think that actually helps you to have a good life, a normal life, and that you do things for people that you care more than anyone in the world. They are your blood, and there's nothing more important in life than that. And Formula One stops tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna be sad and I'm gonna miss it, but I still have my family and my kids, and I'll be working and doing things for them. When you don't have them and you have a very tough Grand Prix, you come back home and you can eat that tough Grand Prix for a couple of days, a few days, and when you've got kids, they help you to recenter, and then you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go on the next one. I'm gonna do good just because I want them to be proud.
The thing about young children is they don't care if you've had a good day or a bad day. They just want daddy, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, saying that, after Barcelona, my oldest son, Sasha, got him on the phone. He gave me so much,
Did you really?
Such a tough time. Man, that was
Remind
the hardest thing.
How old, Sasha?
He's 5 years old. Oh my God. I was crying by the end. He was like, "Daddy, what did you do? Why did you spin? Why did you crash? I told you not to do so. No, you shouldn't have done that." Oh my God, that was it. I was destroyed.
What do you say? Just, "Can I have mommy back, please?"
Yeah, it was actually, she just picked up the phone and said, "Sasha, you can't talk like this to you." But it was the truth. Yeah. Kids doesn't have any filter. Yeah. And he was right at the time. He was right, but my gosh. Yeah. That was a tough one. But on the other hand, as I say, I came back from Austria, I came back from a lot of places, Spa, and it's just, "Daddy, you're the best in the world." And they jump in your arm and they're very happy and they just want to play with you.
Well, this year has been an amazing turnaround, actually, isn't it? You're talking about the slow start. You talk about Silverstone, you talk about Spain, but I feel like you're on a roll now. And can you just talk about Haas a little bit? How different the environment is there compared to Enstone, and what you feel you bring to the party?
I think us is a great racing team, and that's what I love. It feels like we're just going racing, and we don't really care about the rest. It's about coming here and just getting the car out on track and enjoying it, and that means a lot for the drivers, and it just makes our life beautiful, because the owners are just like us. They want to go racing, and that's what they care about. What I bring to the team, I think, a lot of experience. When I joined, it was a risk, and I think to me it looked like a calculated risk. And Gunther, so far, I touch wood, he's got everything right. Everything he told me at the start has happened today. And I like Jean, I like Gunther. And we sat down together. Maybe the meeting was 30 minutes, 35 minutes. We shook hands, and that was it. The deal was done.
What did you see in them that you weren't seeing at Renault?
I mean, I had a really, really good time at Renault. I spent 10 years of my life in Enstone, if you look, except that 2010-11 where I wasn't there. And saying that I did some free practice in 2011. So 10 years of my life, it's about time for me to see something else. And in Enstone, I always came like the kid they've seen grow up. So you're always going to be the kids that grew up. But as a Haas, I came as an experienced driver that was bringing to the team, and I needed that. And as well, the team, I didn't know if Renault was going to buy the team or not. And
you weren't prepared to wait, or Jean wouldn't let you wait?
No, I could have, but I thought, you know what? if in Australia 2016 I go with Haas and I score points, I'm going to be first driver score points. If I go with Renault with score points, it's going to be normal. And I thought you've got the chance to do the first driver score points, first driver score top 5, first driver to maybe be on the podium, first driver to best qualifying for the team and so on. And I thought that's an amazing and just the experience I get from building that team with the boys, from where we started to where we are today, fighting for a 4th place in the Constructor Championship on our 3rd year. You know, the experience I get from that and it's incredible. I mean, I've had to work much harder than everywhere else.
Do you feel that you're more than just a driver?
Yes. Yes, you are. You are, because it's
figurehead.
It's just a smaller team. So you know,
the affection, Roman, that was so evident in, I think, Melbourne, when after the pit stop dramas, and the way you comforted the guys who had the problems and stuff. It was quite evident in a way that you're more than just a
and I need that.
A racing
you know, it's one of my strengths or weakness, whatever you see it. But I need the team to be with me. I need to feel that support from the team to feel good and to be able to deliver. And whenever you know, I've had time in my career where you felt the team is not so much supporting you, then I just don't think I can deliver as much. And whenever I know they're all behind me and it's like I've got an extra power in the car and an extra energy, and that's why I get a Haas. I think, you know, even though, you know, I've had some tough time, but just the boys were like, yeah, we'll repair that thing and you're gonna go again, and we trust you're gonna do well. And that's, you know, that's been incredible in the team.
Has there ever been a moment at Haas where you feel that support has wavered a bit?
No.
Even in the Barcelona time?
No,
earlier this
they're
year?
always behind me, and that has been unbelievable. So you know, I think, as I say, I brought them a lot when I came, and over the first 2 years, I've had a rough time early this year, which I somehow compared to Novak Djokovic, and then I got another abuse on social media. I didn't compare myself to Novak Djokovic. I just say he's had a tough time. I'm having a tough time. It happens in sportsman life. You know, you cannot always be at your best. And sometimes you go through.
He's bounced back.
He's bounced back amazing, and I was happy again when he won Wimbledon and now his US Open, and he can do well. And he beat Roger recently in the final and the Master. And you know, it's great to see, and that's why we love sport.
Yeah.
And I think the sport, there's nothing as boring as always the same guy winning.
So look, what about the future? When are you going to know what you're up to?
Hopefully rather sooner than later.
Yes.
You know, I don't like the silly season.
Yeah.
I think everyone doesn't like it. You just
the musical chairs there's still quite a lot to play.
Yeah, there's still a lot to play, and you know, I think the recent races have shown that I'm back where I should be.
Are you looking anywhere else?
No, I think Haas is a really good option for me. And as I say, I think we've got some unfinished business together, because I want to do more for the team. I would love to be the first Haas driver wearing the Haas color on the podium. That has been one of the dreams since I joined the team. And you know, you never say never.
Do you think the team is good enough, given the high standard really now in Formula One with Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull?
No, I think there is opportunities to do better, because I don't like to say that, but there are 2 races in one race. We finished 4th in Austria. We're 1 lap down. We're faster than one of the Red Bull in quali and 300 slower than Max Verstappen in quali. And then we went in the race and Max Verstappen lapped us. Okay, it's a short track, but still, we're 4th and we were lapped. So there's not even a slight chance to fight for podium, you know. So, yeah, I missed the 2012 time where it was once a Sauber, once a Lotus, once a Force India.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
It was good turnaround, you know. Red Bull was dominating, but still behind that there was a turnover right now. You know that there's 6 cars that are just gonna do their own race. They can start at the back of the grid, doesn't matter, after 10 laps they're at the front and they just go for it. And there's the rest. So on the paper, you know, it's just too complicated, and I think we just need to be very proud and very happy with fighting with Renault, McLaren, Force India, Toro Rosso, Alfa Romeo, and getting that 4th place in the Constructor Championship only in our 3rd season in Formula One.
Yeah, been an amazing result, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Austria was our 50th Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's nothing.
Well, you've done 135 Grand Prix now.
I
You're
have.
quite an experienced
I
guy. You don't look a day older.
No, I still feel young because, my career went up and down. And actually, to me, I came to Formula 1 when I was 27 in 2012. So
you almost discount the 2.9.
yeah, I mean, it was 7 Grand Prix, but it's not part of it. Didn't use any energy from me. So I came in 27 and I'm like, yeah, I think I can go up to 40 like Kimi. And I won't be fed up with Formula 1. I love it so much. When there's a Sunday with no racing, I'm like, oh, what do we do at 3 p.m.? I kind of miss something. I just love it.
What do you get up to at home when it's there isn't a Grand Prix weekend and you're not changing nappies? What do you? I see a bit on social media of you karting and.
Yeah,
do you still ski? Are you allowed to ski?
No, as well. I just cross-country ski over the winter. I did my first triathlon in the summer break.
How did it go?
It went very well. The swimming was rubbish, but after that went well. I'm just a bad swimmer. I didn't do much practice. It was Alpe d'Huez. So it was a long distance one. Really enjoyed that. A bit longer than the Alpha Rhine run.
Did the bike ride involve?
Yeah, we went with the last climb. The last climb was the 21 turns. Park the bike at the top and run. 21k at the top.
You did 21k? Oh,
yeah.
I've cycled those 21 corners.
Well, we cycled 120k. And the last climb, we had 3 climbs, three call, and the last climb was Alpe d'Huez. Parked the bike and went for a run.
You're fit.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Can we talk about finishing positions?
Yeah, I finished 197th out of 1,000 starter, knowing that was 630 something after the swim. So I had a good comeback.
Now, how are we going to improve this swimming? We need to do something.
Yes, I need to get lesson. I think that's the first step.
They say, did you wear one of those suits?
I did.
Because they're quite restrictive, aren't they?
Yeah, but the lake was 17 degrees. It was an altitude lake, so it was quite cold. And I missed the start by about 2 or 3 minutes. I was still coming down the ramp to go in the water when the bang was
So you were the last to go.
So yeah, I was a bad swimmer and I did myself like 200 meters of swim because I wasn't on the start line when it started.
Well, at least you didn't. I know those open water swimmers are saying that getting kicked by other swimmers and stuff is quite horrible.
Yeah, so no, I was
clear of all that.
Yeah, and on the outside.
So over a weekend off, you're out on the bike, you're running.
Mainly time with kids as well, and I love wakeboarding, wake surfing on the Geneva Lake. So I do quite a bit of that on the summer. It's just great to be on a boat out there. You don't have your fun and you don't see time. You completely lose track of time. The kids are there, they love it. Yeah. They're sending the ropes. They're the captains.
So they are our captains, aren't they? The children. You're right there. Cool. And then when you've stopped racing, I hope that it carries on, as you say, until you're 40, like Kimi, and good luck with everything. But you're a long time retired as a sportsman, aren't you? Do you think you'll be one of these guys who just says that was chapter 1 and go and do something completely different for the next chapter of your life? Or do you think you'll stay involved in racing?
I don't know.
Yes,
I don't. As I say, I've got a family and I do everything for my kids. So I've got a few things alongside Formula 1 going. Probably one of the things I love to do is marketing and sponsoring into F1 sport in general.
Finding money, finding sponsors.
Yes.
That sounds like way too much hard work.
But I love it because I've got contacts to sponsor to a lot of people, to a lot of sportsmen. So actually, whenever I meet a sponsor, they're telling me, "Oh, we would like to go to MotoGP." I'm like, "Yeah, hold on, I'll just give a call and I can introduce you guys, and then we can work out something." And I like human relationship.
Your dad said to you, "You've got to finish your education before, in case the racing doesn't work out." What did you study? What's your area of academic expertise?
Yeah, well, it was more about scientific.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wanted to become an aerodynamic engineer if I was not making it to Formula 1 driver. So I was always going to be working
on cars.
No, in Formula 1. I wanted to be in Formula 1 sports. It was all about sport all the time. So yeah, I wanted to do schools to learn or to design a car and learn the aerodynamic, and then trying to make it to a top team.
Wow, imagine that if you retire from driving and then become an aerodynamicist, go and beat Adrian Newey's number 2. Well, look, Romain, thank you so much for your time. It's been great to catch up. I feel like I've learned so much about you. It's a wonderful story, and I hope the story continues for many years to come. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers. Well, I told you he was candid. I found his openness and honesty about his life as a professional racing driver absolutely fascinating. Thanks for your time, Romain, and best of luck for the rest of the season. Let's hope you can give your kids more moments to be proud of. That's it for now, but we've got another big name guest for you next week who I think you're going to really enjoy hearing from. A big thank you to all of you who've subscribed to the show and left us a nice message. And to make sure you don't miss out on an episode, why not do the same? We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your favourite podcast app. And finally, if you want to get in touch, drop us a line using the hashtag F1BeyondTheGrid or send me a tweet at TomClarksonF1. We really love reading your comments. Beyond the Grid is produced by F1 in association with Audio Boom. Until next time, keep it flat out.